Right. I think we should be live. Ah, Tom Southgate's already made a comment. Hey, Tom. Drop your comments down below. I should be live. If you can hear me, say hello, hello. Drop your comments down below. I'm just going to check on my phone to see if I am live. So if you are here, please let me know. Oh, this app on my phone. If anyone's got Android, awful for. Don't know, for trying to get back from the messages to the thing. Absolute pain. Right, let me find out if I'm live. If you're here, drop a comment down below. Let me know. Thank you. I'm here to help you with your Amazon businesses. Got about 45 minutes to give you a hand. I'm just going to check if I'm live on the Facebook. Are we live? Yeah, we're live. Look, woohoo, we're live. Look at that. That's a really nice image. Really nice. I like having a DSLR as a webcam. So I believe we're live there, and then if I can go live there, due to limited amount, so it's fine. If anyone can hear me, see me, let me know you're live. So obviously I'm helping out with your Amazon businesses, so ask your questions down below. I'm just gonna drop a little comment, or someone's already commented here. So Tom, hey Tom, sorry, I'm unable to make the call later, but I have a question. Is it possible to set up 2 different online stores which focus on selling different items, i.e. exact VAT registered? Let me know if you can hear me. My little, my thing's telling me that there might be low bandwidth problems. So if there are, let me know. I'll see what I can do. But it thinks it's being fine. Let me just check. Play. I just want to see. How are we looking? Okay. Yeah, looks like it's working. So if you can hear me, fine. Let me know. So Tom says, sorry, I'm unable to make the call later, but I have questions. Is it possible to set up 2 different online stores set on different items? Okay, so let's just be really crystal clear. So in regards to creating multiple Amazon selling accounts, you are allowed to do it so long as it is within Amazon's terms and conditions. So 1 second, let me just stop this a second. I want to figure out what's going on here. Stop. I'm going to try that. How does that work? So, sorry, 2 seconds. I'm just playing around with something. My internet still says it's playing up. Okay, so creating multiple Amazon selling accounts, what can we do? Under Amazon's own terms and conditions, you are allowed multiple Amazon selling accounts if there is a legitimate business need or reason. And they're not particularly the clearest in regards to what that means. So let's be clear about what could it mean. Now, in regards to... so for me, I have multiple selling accounts. Now, what do I have them for? I have one in the US, one in the UK that we sell on or have sold on the UK. I also have 2 more in the UK, but we do not sell on them. So I have 3 in the UK, 1 in the US. Now, to be clear, you are allowed... Okay, I need to get this right. Sorry, I'm going to I've got lots of little notifications coming up. It's like, let me know if you can see me okay. My screen keeps telling me, due to limited bandwidth, there's a possibility of significant reduction in your video quality. So, honestly, glad you're here. Jesse's just joined in. Hey, Jesse. Right, let me know if you can see me okay. My signal seems a bit playing up, but we'll figure it out. Okay, let's clarify. You are allowed multiple selling accounts, yes, but they have to be legitimate reasons. So generally speaking, you're only allowed 1 per region. Europe is a region, America is a region, if you are selling. But if you are selling different brands, that is kind of okay. And I say kind of okay, so let me be very, very specific about what do I mean by different brands. So say, for example, I own a brand called Fast Track FBA, and then I own another brand called like Thomas, for example. Now, I can sell the brand Thomas on one account and brand Fast Track on the other one. So long as they never sell each other's products, there is a legitimate business need because they're different products or different brands, that's fine. So I might own them through different companies. You could even find one company might have multiple selling accounts, I think, do not quote me. So you can do it, but you said, i.e. VAT exempt to non-VAT exempt. So under Amazon's guidelines, you can do it, but you've got to be really careful. They can't sell the same brands. Really, you probably want to stay at the same categories. But in regards to VAT, you need to be careful. There is something called artificial separation of VAT. It's HMRC, not Amazon. And if you try and create multiple accounts to keep both accounts or multiple businesses under the VAT threshold when they're doing really the same thing, it won't work. And HMRC will come fine you. That's called artificial separation of, I think it's artificial separation of VAT. And the idea is you're trying to stay under the VAT threshold, which means you pay less taxes. And HMRC frown upon that massively. So don't do that, but you can have multiple selling accounts. Hope that makes sense. Jessie, how are you? Long time no see. Woohoo! She's back. I think it's because I went away to the Philippines for a while. That's why. So yeah, let me know how you're getting on and how is life. So Ravi says, hello, Tom. Hi, Tom. Hi. Big smiley face. Hi, Ravi. Good to see you. Drop your questions down below. Honestly, I'm here to help you. JGL2. Hey, JGL02. I should get it right. Hi, Tom. Hi. Okay, one man's hands. It's supposed to be like one man's stand or one man's hands. Okay, cool. Let's go for it. I've suffered a spinal injury and I'm looking to learn what's the lowest cash input you would need to be on half successful. I hate to say it, like, okay, let's put it this way. I'm sorry to hear about your spinal injury. That's a horrible thing, and I hope you get well soon. The lowest cash investment opportunity you can do for Amazon is generally retail arbitrage, going in stores. Now, if you have a spinal injury, I'm probably sure that that isn't going to be a good option. So it might be at home, for example, doing online arbitrage. Now, if you're going to do online arbitrage, you probably want to do things like going wide but not deep. For example, I'd look for things over 100,000 sales rank, BSR that is. Slow selling, but you can just buy it, put some product into it. You don't need much cash, but have good ROIs. You're probably looking minimum 50, if not ideally 70 to 100% ROI on your products. It's going to be hard, but that's what you're looking for. If you're looking for the lowest cash input, you can do it. Now, you can get them on RA a lot easier, but on OA you can, but it's still harder. I think the other kind of bit of advice I might offer is that this is a cash intensive game, like really cash intensive. So if you are looking to start an Amazon business, it's trade, it just uses cash. And so therefore, if you are struggling for cash, it's probably not the right business for you. Like, you really, like, what's a good situation for people wanting to start Amazon? They might have a couple of £100, maybe $1,000 to a couple of $1,000 right now, but they know if it works, they can go throw a lot more money at it. That's the people who do well. Those people who are like, I've got maybe $300 to $500 or pounds, and I want to get started, you're going to find it really difficult because the fees are going to eat you. You get a percentage back on how much you invest, and it's just going to take time. So I'd possibly say, like, you might want to, if you haven't got that much money, you might want to look at like a service company. Even doing things like Upwork and Fiverr could be a good option. So I say that not to be mean, but try to be honest about what I feel. You just got to understand that Amazon is a big investment. And all those people who say, hey, I started with 500, now I'm doing 100,000, great. But what they don't say, all of them, is how much capital they got in between those two. You are right. They started with 500, but they did not tell you that they then got a $10,000 loan or £10,000 credit card, and that's what they've done. Like, my team last week, like, just on a standard week, they've spent like 20 grand. Like, it takes 12 weeks to turn money. That's 160,000. That's a lot of cash. So just like be mindful of that. Ravi, tax avoidance, big no-no. Yeah, I agree. Do not avoid taxes. Big no-no. Especially HMRC, they like VAT, that's a big thing. So for the invoices that we need to submit to Amazon, do we need to have both the trading address and the register address on there? If the answer is yes, is my name sufficient on top of both addresses? I don't know the exact answer, and again, it depends on Amazon, so there's no right or wrong. And when you said you got to submit to Amazon, for what purposes? Is it for ungating? Is it for proof of authenticity? Generally, if you are trading under a business, i.e. like Fast Track FBA, you probably want your name and definitely the company name on there because the company purchased, not you. If you're trading under a sole trader in the UK, your name should be fine. Now, The trading address is really a prep center, so that's the delivery address. The registered address might be a different one, which might be your office address, which is where you're registered at. Definitely need the registered address on there. And if you're doing trading addresses different, then you want to make sure they are in your back of house in Seller Central. So that'd be like your shipping from, shipping to addresses. Really important. So make sure they're on the actual documentation and in your Seller Central so that they're registered within the account. Hope that makes sense. AJ8, hey AJ8. Hi Tom, I have this, one second, this thing's being really annoying. I've got this big thing sticking up. I'm just going to move around. There. Why? Go away. Cool. Right. I have this supplier in Europe. Where I buy goods and then sell on Amazon UK. Oh, Stalvana. Love it. I'm not saying it's them. They've been around for years, even if it is. They have an EU. They have an EU VAT number, but don't display any VAT, and I can't claim it. This affects the profits. Any ideas? Yeah, you're right. So, okay, let's be crystal clear. If I'm a UK registered VAT company, if I'm a UK registered company with a UK registered VAT number, which will start with the letters GB, then I can reclaim the VAT from the government of any VAT invoices that I have paid, and I can prove the invoices, whereby the person who I paid the VAT to also has a VAT number, starts with GB, because we have both paid it to the same government. Now, if I'm GB and the person I'm buying from, for example, I'm about to pay VAT to, they are FR for France, for example, then what we need to do is what's known as a business EC business transaction, and this is called EC reverse charge. So European Community Reverse Charge. So the way it works is I tell the French company my UK VAT number. The French company goes, you are a legitimate VAT registered business. So therefore we will sell you the business. We will send you the invoice, and we'll basically charge you at 0% VAT. So the way this works is that I don't physically pay the VAT, but I do account for it in my accounting, and the French company will not physically ask me for the VAT, but they do account for it in their accounting. And so therefore, no VAT cash actually gets traded, and so therefore there is nothing left to claim, but we do account for it. It's called EC reverse charge. It's quite complex, but that's the way it works. So if you have paid the VAT from a GB company, you, to a FR company, you cannot reclaim it from the UK government because you did not pay it to a company that is paying the VAT to a UK government company. And so therefore it will tax profits or affect profits. Now, generally speaking, technically you can claim it back, but it's a paperwork job and it might take you 3 to 6 months. So it's not short, not easy, and very, very, I've not even bothered looking into it. I did not ever done it because I was like, I'm never gonna do that, it would be a nightmare. So basically, long story short, I just say you can't claim it back. You can, but it's like, you would never want to. So that's the way it kind of works. So I hope that makes sense, but it's annoying. Stop buying for them, long story short. And that's why you've got to check their VAT number, especially if you're buying international, especially within Europe. Outside of Europe, they don't have VAT, doesn't matter. Right, JG, it gets a bit more complex if you are doing it within Europe. So like D and FR, they have, they're slightly different as well. But I can talk about that another day. Hi, Tom. Currently with Tide for banking, but looking for a new bank. Any recommendations? What's the best way to change bank accounts on Amazon? I remember you saying there can be issues. Yeah, why are you changing? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments down below, but I'll answer your question straight away. So who do I use in my business? If you're looking at UK, I use Santander and I use Wise as another one. Personally, I use Revolut. So why do I use Santander? I use one of the big banks for storing money. We also do this in my US business. So we use Chase as our bank. Don't get me wrong, I hate them. Like, I don't hate them, but I just think they're really stupid. I'm like, hi, I want to transfer money from my bank account to another one. Sorry, we're not going to let that. I'm like, what? It's my money. So it's really annoying, but we've got Chase are a bit annoying. But the way I think about it is you want to use the big banks for your storage of money, and then you use the core startup banks for the more cash transactional ones, which are quite useful. So basically the way it works is Amazon will pay me money into Santander, big lump sum, every month, every week, and then I will transfer some of that money into Wise or whatever we need to do, or pay off credit cards, but we never transact normally through Santander. That's just big cash movements into different bank accounts or credit cards. We always use credit cards for payments and Wise for transfers. And Wise, I can have a smaller lump sum in, and I can give my staff purchasing cards from that for small expenses, and then we use credit cards for big ones, for example. So that's Fast Track FBA and the Amazon business. So I really like that. In the US, we use Chase, Mercury, and Wise, and then obviously we have like Amex and stuff for our credit cards. So I hope that makes sense. And yes, there are issues. You just got to make sure that your documents are perfect, i.e., if it's Fast Track FBA Limited, LIMITED, learn to spell, Tom, and your on your Amazon account says LTD, but on the document it says limited, that's not going to work. Or maybe you're missing the word limited out on the banking documents, but it has it on the account. That could be a problem. So literally every single word, everything perfect in the same order as it is on the bank account. So when someone looks at it like, yeah, perfect, cool. And then also as well, you could recommend dropping Seller Central a quick message before you do it. Also make sure that when you change your bank account over, you're doing it from the computer that you normally do it at home, normal connection. I did it once where I was like in a different country, and obviously Amazon flagged it. So 3 days before I could do anything, which was really like before I could even get access to my account. They're like, "You've been hacked." I was like, "Oh my god, no, I haven't." So do it on like normal, everything normal, like everything's fine. So I hope that helps. JGL2, JGL02, AppNeck IT. Hey, AppNeck IT. Hi Tom. How to do FBA if I'm out for a holiday? Can we directly ship to Amazon warehouses without physically sent without us? Yeah, it's called a prep center. Like, just look at prep centers, honestly. Like, I live in Mexico. I have not physically shipped anything in 7 years, and I don't know, maybe I've done 8 figures in sales over 7 years. So in 1 year, we did 5 million across 2 companies. So I'd say that maybe we've got to eight figures across 7 years. So definitely you can do it, and I've been traveling all that time. So I hope that makes sense. So yeah, really, really good. But you can definitely do it. Prep centers, systemized fulfillment in the UK, really good. They have US as well. Check out our blog posts. We have that as well. That's really, really useful. So let us know. JGL2, he's firing with the questions. Absolutely love it. I love the questions, guys. Right. How did you get on with competing with your VAs? I'm not going to lie. Okay, so I didn't really do a very good job. And I didn't do a very good job for 2 reasons. One was, let me do this. So I have a meeting with the whole team on Monday evening, which is Tuesday morning their time. Now, I have a meeting with my ops manager Monday night their time, and then she does a bit more stuff. So my purchaser. So I had a conversation with my purchaser, and she said the team have done really well. So I basically did this live with you guys. The team have done really well. Then I had a look at the deals after I did this live last week, and my team basically found nearly $10,000 in 1 day. I was like, so at the rate they were going, we were going to have cash flow issues. So I was like, I'm not even going to bother. I was like, you guys have got it. Like, because we had a conversation the week before, challenged them to do some more sourcing, changed it up a bit, and looked at some new suppliers, should we say. And when they came back with $10,000 in 1 day, which I was like blown away with, the next day they went on to do, I think it was like 5 or 6. And then the next day, like basically the weekend, we did 22 grand last week. And I was like, I don't think I need to show them that I can beat them because they've just smashed it. So the conversations did the work for me, if that made sense. And so what I decided to do is, instead of spending my time focusing on showing them how much better I am than they are, I'm not saying that I am at all, but like that's potentially what I'm trying to say, is say what I did actually do is I said, why don't I spend that time instead with you guys and support you in improving your deal analysis. So what we did is I just booked in like the time that I would have spent sourcing. I booked with them anyway. I rearranged my calendar, spent it with them. So I just went through rejected deals. I went through deals that I found really interesting, keeper charts that people wouldn't normally look at. For example, like when the new seller count's going through the roof, everyone's like, stay away. And I'm like, that's right, but you should always check the stock. And so I had 3 examples of whereby they've been rejected because the new seller count had gone from like 0 to 30, but the stock on the listing was still like 3 weeks. I was like, wow, I would still buy this product because it's gonna go back down again very quickly. Other ones where like the stock on the listing is like 0, there's big gaps, like no one's selling it. So these are really interesting deals. So I really like that. And I also just showed them how to speed up their sourcing analysis process by using like new seller counts and stock on the listing and watching the drops. And also like where you can see the 50 sales per month and how we do analysis like really, really quickly. Like how can I analyze deals quicker than them? So we spent a lot of time just like this deal, analyze it, and they would go through, and then I would be like, right, let me analyze it, and I'd do it in like 10 seconds. And they'd be like, wow. And I was like, if I could speed them up even more and show them things that they didn't even know, which they could think about, then they would find even more deals. So that's been really, really helpful. So unfortunately, I didn't do it. And it's, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, we got the result we were looking for, and I felt that the time was probably better spent doing the right things for the company. And why? Because I do not want to build a business whereby I'm the one who has to source all the deals. So I'm super pleased that my team are, they were just like, right, a couple of tweaks, change this, did this, analyze this. I worked with my purchasing manager to improve their analysis to say, those ones you rejected, I would have bought for this reason. So now we get more deals. So that's been quite game changing for me. So I'm quite happy. Great question. And well done for holding me accountable. Right. For ungating. Yeah, ungating, again, just have everything exactly the same on the, it's got to be, I'd have the addresses in your back of house in Seller Central, and you've got to have the addresses pretty much exactly the same. So your prep center in there and your delivery address. You definitely need your company address in there. That's so, so important. Jesse. Hey, Jesse, what do you think of ULend? I've not heard about Amazon's own lending for a long time. Yeah, so I've not heard anything because obviously I'm not selling in the UK right now. So, when we talk about ULend, it looks like Amazon are not lending themselves, but they're generally doing it through ULend, like third-party providers, which I understand. It could be something to do with capital's now getting more expensive in the global economy, so therefore they do not want to lend it. They can make more money by offering it through a third-party company and doing a selling on it. I don't know what Amazon is doing with their capital. Obviously, when they're excess capital, they'll probably lend it to us, and if they don't, they're just accessing money markets and lending it through us and making margin on it. But right now, I'm guessing capital in the global money markets is not as good. That's what I've known over the last year. And so therefore, they're probably saying, well, we still want it to grow, but we'll get in private equity rather than our own money, and ULend could be the option. I'm not 100% sure. I'm guessing, like really guessing, but it's kind of like putting some stuff together in my head. I've not heard anything bad, but I think you have to do your research, asking a couple of the groups. I've not really known anyone who's actually said, yeah, they've done it and it's worked, or like bad. I think the one thing I would just say about lending, if you can, lines of credit is what you want. So go speak to your bank, figure out what they can do. That's going to be really helpful. That's what, we have access to lines of credit in our banking. Santander gave it to us, which was great. So check that out. Right. Hi, Tom. For the UK market, is IP check on SellerAmp good enough, or should I be using another IT tool simultaneously? It's okay. Like, by the way, like do you want to know what we have? We have our own internal database. We have SellerAmp. We have Ace and Zen. We have IP Alert, should we say, for the, obviously in the US we're selling. So we have 4, and still is not going to guarantee it. Oh, and then by the way, on top of that, we have, we use, who are they called? Oh my God, I've got their name. Seller Basics. That's it. Pay $100 a month and they do it for you. They help manage it for you, which is really good. So I really like that. And yeah, and I think that we still get the odd IP complaint. So it's not guaranteed. Like, is it good enough? Like, check the keeper chart. Be smart about your purchasing. That's going to be the most important part. That's what I would say. So I can't tell you the answer. They're what we use. And even then, we still get them. So there is no definitive answer. We always get people in the lead service like, do you run it through IP checkers? Is it guaranteed not to get me an IP complaint? I'm like, no, we can't guarantee that. It's out of our control. Hi, Tom. I have a Shopify store set up. Thinking, would it help with suppliers to see that I sell products and it won't be keeping us? But is it worth keeping us as I'm about to begin? Is it pointless? If you're doing wholesale, fine, but like, okay, so let me put it this way. No one has officially rejected us from wholesale applications for the purposes of we are not selling, whether we do not have the storefront, if that makes sense. They might have done without telling us, both in the UK and in the US, and obviously when we're doing it in the UK. So we do not have a storefront like Shopify, for example, and we've never needed it. So will it help you? Possibly. Everyone talks about it. Do I think it's required? No, not at all. Like, you can go create wholesale accounts, fine. Supply OA, if you're doing OA, fine. You don't even need it at all. It might be, look, if you got it, just run it down to the minimum viable operating cost, and if you can do wholesale, fantastic. If not, then probably just put it on pause or something. But yeah, I don't think if this is what you're going to do, I don't think you need it that much. Should I get a virtual landline, or is it also pointless? You don't need a virtual landline. I think I have one. The only people who call me are people who want to sell me stuff, but nothing to do with Amazon. So yeah, I wouldn't bother. Right, JGO2, thanks a lot, Tom. I'm changing, as with Tide, you can only have one person with the main access and another with the view access. You have two directors. Yeah, it's stupid. Go with Wise. Just use Wise. Honestly, Wise has really customizable things. All my admin VAs all have view access. Actually, my admin VAs have the ability to do view access and upload payroll, like batch files, which is great. Then my ops manager goes in and approves the batch files, which I love. And then I just go in as well. I'm an admin. So like we have multiple senior users and they have different levels and stuff. So just use Wise. Like, I know it's officially not a Tide, but like just use a main bank account and you can have your directors with it, and then use Wise for your kind of day-to-day transactions outside of credit card purchasing. Like, so we use Wise quite heavily in Fast Track FBA, and obviously, and then we use Mercury, so we can create a lot of virtual cards. I don't know if Wise you can create virtual cards, but we have the ability to create a lot of them. There's some cool hacks you can do, like Amex virtual cards, but that's another conversation for another day. Yeah, so like there's that, and that's really helpful. So we create a lot of them, but Mercury is pretty good for that. But that's US, obviously, not UK. Hassan, the address question at the beginning was for ungating reasons. Cool, yeah, I got that one, fantastic. Wow, sounds great, nice one, no problems. Tom, hi Tom, how can I get a replenishables item in the US? You're asking the question the wrong way. The question should be asked, okay, think about the equation this way. Number one, if I'm buying products which are on sale, is it likely to be replenishable? Probably not, because it's on sale. So therefore, I first of all have to buy products that are normal priced. Number two is the fact that do not buy a product thinking it will be replenishable. Buy a product and then check it, and then when you come back to reorder, it may then be replenishable. That's the key consideration. And if I give you a statistic, at best, 50% will be replenishable. So if you buy 100 products this week and you come back to reorder them, 50% you might be able to order again. Probably more like 25. That's what I'd say. More like 25. And that's what I'd just be understanding. So 50, maybe down to 25. That's the key. Like, so you've got to keep topping up. But also as well, products which are not replenishable when you come back to reorder them might be replenishable in 6 months. So it might be certain times of year they become replenishable. So don't just think about it as like, I buy this product and I can keep buying it forever. Even like Amazon Lit, who do 60 million a year in wholesale, who have probably some of the biggest wholesale accounts that we know of, even by their own admission, 50% of the products they buy, they cannot reorder for some reason, i.e. the supplier does not have them in offer anymore, they do not, they're not in stock, or Amazon listings not right anymore. So even people who are doing a wholesale model cannot do replenishable to the standard, which I suspect you're trying to imply. Hope that makes sense. Hey Sam, I'm interested in your Become a Top Seller course, but I already know my way around Amazon, already have an account to be helpful for me. Yeah, like, it's a really good question. The program, Top Amazon Seller Program, is designed to help people get from 0 up to, should we say, 10,000 a month, ideally really about getting to a VA. Now, yes, it does have basic stuff, but it does have helpful sourcing stuff, which I think you're gonna like, and it will help you get into good practices, which we recommend. But I think even if you did not pay for any of the course content, that would not matter. Why? Because every single week, twice on a Wednesday, you get 2 calls on a Wednesday with my team. So you can go in and ask about sourcing questions. They're my team who run the academy. They know what they're doing. They can analyze deals for you live on the call. They can help you with sourcing absolutely fine. That's twice a week on a Wednesday. You get that. We've got one in UK and one US time. And then on a Thursday, you get a 1-hour group call with me. Not like this where you've got to put your messages in. This is like cameras on, ask me a question, and I go around and ask you the questions. So if you want to know, right now it's $47, I think it's $47 per month. No long-term subscription, cancel whenever you like. Normally it's $97, but the fact that you are just getting the calls alone are going to be amazing. Just imagine you get to have 4 weeks of a group call with me, whereby it's only a couple of us on the call. That's going to be really beneficial. You can ask me questions directly. I can help you with your sourcing, guide you. My team can do that. That's about $5 per call. That's like incredible value for money. So, and I'm not even saying you've got to watch any course content at all. Like, I would not worry about that. So I think for you is, I would definitely recommend it. That's why we created it, because there are so many courses out there, which is great, but really you want the access to people to ask your questions like you are right now. Do that, and it's on a live call, not on a chit chat, for example. So I think that help to make sense. Let me ask your questions. Answer your question. Preet, I think I made that night. How much can I expect to pay for a Fast Track FBA VA? So let me do my little sales pitch. So if you're looking for a fully trained virtual assistant who is going to help you in your business, and supported by this is by the way, coming from a company who has helped 450 Amazon sellers, place over 800, I think 50 now VAs, which is incredible, helping them scale their businesses with that over the last 4 years. So we certainly know what we're doing. And we support you with 12 weeks unlimited replacement. So if you're not happy with that VA, we will replace that VA immediately for you and get you and reset that 12-week timer back to 0. And we support you with results, getting everything that you need to know to manage the VA to get the best results from everything that we've learned from ourselves. And you pay the VA directly, so we're not like taking a fee off them at all. The price you pay the VA is in the UK £360 per month, in the US $450 per month. And then the price you pay us as a one-time fee for all of that, and you get the community of 400 Amazon sellers who are just VA owner-operators. The one-time fee is $997. So if you are interested, fasttrackfba.com/VA. We are like, I think we've done the most amount of VAs anyone. Like, I do not know anyone who's bigger than us, and we've certainly helped so many sellers. So we know what we're doing. We've got a lot of experience in it, and it's really good. And if you have questions, you can book a free call on fasttrackfba.com/VA, and obviously you can book a call and we'll answer them for as well. So I hope that makes sense. Does IP Alert with Chris Grant work in the UK? Not sure. I don't really look at it. Might do, but then again, like, there's so much variation between, and also you've got to be careful. Like, I've seen today someone get an IP complaint from importing products from somewhere. I think they're outside the European Union into the UK, maybe like iHerb, for example, which is really common. Now that's an IP complaint, but you're not going to see it on an IP alert because it's not an intellectual property. That's a parallel import, which is different. So therefore, you'll never always be protected. It's kind of like, just be due diligent with what you're doing. I hope that makes sense. And again, why you should be focusing on niches, not focusing on general sourcing, because you know the brands that you sell are pretty safe. I hope that makes sense. TM70, brilliant, Tom, no problem. JGL02, thanks, Tom, no problem. Jesse, I use Wise Business Debit for UK. They do create virtual cards. They're great. I like a bit of cashback too. Love it, yeah. So I think my only bit of advice is, like, I just do not recommend using debit cards for purchasing, period. Like, they do have an element of protection, but it's really bad. It's not as good. Use credit cards. Not only you get the cash back, you get the points or whatever, but you also get the protection. That's what you're really paying for. And you get the credit line increase, which is really valuable, especially around Q4. I'd strongly recommend that. Right, stay there. AO. Hey, AO. Oh, by the way, if you want to know, Jesse, or if anyone wants to know, fasttrackfba.com/tools, you will see the credit cards we use. So when we're in the UK, we use Capital on Tap, and we used Amex, Platinum and Gold. In the US, we use Amex pretty much. That's the only credit card company we use. We did have another one. Don't use it more. Mercury gave us money. Yeah, Mercury gave us credit lines as well. They're kind of up and down, so it's fine. So I hope that makes sense. But you only want to be using credit cards, because I promise you, if you're doing OA, someone will steal your credit card details. This is not a matter of if, it's just when. It will happen. I've had it before. I've had 11 grand's worth of flights in Europe booked for me, so absolutely fun. AO, hey, is Sellerboard useful for managing cash flow? So I can't really comment, because we do not use it for cash flow, nor have I ever used it for cash flow. It may have a cash flow function. If you're going to ask me, so I can't comment, but what I can say is we do not use Sellerboard for cash flow. How do we manage cash flow, I think, is the real question you're trying to ask. So we have a sheet. Just go to my YouTube channel, go to my blogs, Fast Track FBA at the top, resources, blogs, go to type in cash flow. You'll see a sheet you can download. It costs $40. I know I'm like really expensive, but like it took a really long time to develop. It's really good. And the reason why I like it is, so every Sunday, I basically have a call with my VAs, my admin team, and my admin team go to me, hi Tom, please log into Santander Wise, for example, and I take screenshots, do the Amazon disbursement, and I take screenshots of all of them, and I dump them back into Google Chat, in like Discord, for example. So they can see all the snapshots of all the bank accounts of what's going on. Then they take those snapshots and they fill out the cash flow sheet. So where all the money is, what's going on, then they look at all the expenses coming out this week, and then what the sheet allows you to do is it takes your money right now, how much you've got coming out of Amazon, how much will come out next week, because it calculates that as well, all your expenses coming out as well, and then it helps you to calculate how much money you can spend this week while still being able to pay next week's liabilities or expenses and be safe, and it gives you a very exact number, which is what I exactly love. Why? Because too many sellers eyeball their cash flow, which is great, but I don't feel that you have a good process whereby, and if you get cash flow wrong and you do not pay your credit cards, you're going to ruin your credit rating. So that's so important. So the cash flow sheet is so useful, and the fact that what it does, it gives my admin VAs, which could be you, the specific numbers that you need to put in and what you get out of it after the calculations, and that number then goes to your purchasing manager as how much you can spend. So I love that. That's game changing, and it just makes my life so much easier. And I basically get a report every Monday saying, please move this money here, pay off this, do this. And I know that my business is running smoothly. And if we have any problems, then I can go back and look at the cash flow sheet and go, what went wrong? So I can improve it. Whereas eyeballing it, you can't do the debugging part, which is so important because you cannot mess it up. How does that make sense? How does the group call work? Like, how many in a group? How long do they last? 1 hour, and however many turn up. Generally between like 3 and 6. Like, it's not huge. Like, absolutely not huge at all. So, like, how many we have there? Like, it could be more, but like right now you're fine. So, I think maybe one time in the last 3 months I've had to end the call before all the questions have been answered. I'm really good at going, what's your question, how can I help you? What's your question, how can I help you? 1111122222333. So really helpful. Check it out. $47 right now. It'll probably go up next week. So check it out. And obviously once you sign up, you secure that price. So that'll make sense. How can I save more money with cashback? Cashback provider, credit cards. So let's just be, okay, you want to be really specific. I don't know if you're UK or USA. I'll do it really quickly. Credit cards, of course. You can use things like top-up credit cards, like UK has the Curve card. You can use that, so you can put, that's double cashback on the card. You can use cashback websites, and then like Top Cashback, Quidco in the UK, Top Cashback is in the US, Rakuten. They have cashback credit sites. Also use voucher codes, really helpful. They're all the things that I'd look at. Hope that makes sense. Preet, yes, thanks, no problem, you're welcome. I have an online, one second, I'll just answer this one. How can I book a call for a VA? fasttrackfba.com/VA. Scroll down, you'll see a little FAQ section. Just above that, you'll see a book a call now. Click on that, load it up, book a call. That's it. You don't have to, you can just pay. My team will have a call with you straight after anyway and talk it through. So that's part of the onboarding process. But if you do need to book a call and have a conversation about VA and what they can offer, do that, book that call. I know this week we're really busy, so it'll probably be next week before you can book a call in. JGL02. I have an online retail supplier. I believe they would be potential for me opening doing a larger order than them at better same price outside of the website. I used to have a website for business posing as a distributor, an email website domain. How do you think about best to get about content and posting something? Is it worth content through this? I wouldn't even bother. Like, I wouldn't even bother worrying about what you're doing. Get on the, I wouldn't even be like, hi, this is where we want to sell it through. I just want to see if they'd entertain the idea. So find a product that they are that you would want to buy a lot of for a set price, and send them an email and ask them for that one product, large quantity, and can they give you best pricing for that product? That's it. Like, if they come back and ask the question, why, who are you, what do you want it for, cool, I'm sure they're not even going to get that far. They'll be like, no, we don't do don't do bulk ordering, or yes, we do. We can't do that price. We can do this. Like, that's probably the response you're going to get. Like, most people, when you think about the world of trade, like people might, like they might check you out like, oh, who is this guy? It seems quite a big order. Like people do that. I don't deny that. But so long as your website isn't like a Gmail or email isn't a Gmail, I think you're fine. Yeah, I think you'd be fine. Like even if your current website for your current business is just like a one-page something, it's like, hey, we do specialist purchasing. I don't know. I think you'd be fine. But so long as it's kind of like, they don't seem like a Nigerian prince with $1 million. Like, as long as you don't seem like that, I think you'd be okay. But I would probably just ask the question first before I worry about like websites, because I don't think it's very setting up the email address again. Just have a one page, like, hey, we do business purchasing. Fine. See what they say. They might be like, oh, well, yeah, we can do it, but we need to know who you're selling it to. Cool, that's another question. But like, absolutely fine. But I just asked the question first. Hope that makes sense. Jesse, thanks, Tom. Yeah, I use PayPal Credit Connect to Wise. Woohoo! Very nice. Love it. And getting the cash back as well. Absolutely love it. Cool. Really, really good. And yeah, can I get... Yeah, so I love Amex. Amex is really good. And you get really good Marriott points on Amex. So it's good. Yasa, US. So you're in US. So you're asking about how can you get money back on cashback. So credit cards, first of all, Amex, Chase, for example, Capital on Tap, the Capital One Spark card. They're kind of the credit cards you want to get. Really, really helpful. Number two is cashback websites, Rakuten, for example. Where's the ones we've got? Tom should know this. Rakuten, Be Frugal, Retail Me Not, Top Cashback, very useful. You could even combine that with things like Honey Points, for example. Mercury do cashback. I see you done the Mercury there, but I think they're 1%, but you've got to hold the equivalent cash value, and that's only when you do the credit cards, not the debit cards. So you really want to be using the credit cards for the protection, and you can get better cashback on the credit card side. What else? And then obviously like coupon codes. You can even go more crazy and be like, if you're not talking about cashback, buying discount cards, for example, Kohl's discount cards, 7% off, that could be an option. So there's lots of different ways you can do this. I mean, if you can get 10% off, you're in a good place. But sometimes you can even do like top cashback, and they'll do a lot of. I've seen like top cashback on the UK with like 30% off of cashback sometimes. But again, cashback isn't guaranteed. That's an important point, so understand. So like, I've earned a lot of money, like multiples of yearly salaries in cashback. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much you can make. And that's just from, one cashback provider. I literally thought that day, I was like, wow, that's quite a lot of cash. And that's not including like credit cards and everything else. So you can do this, but obviously it's just a game you gotta figure out. So I hope that makes sense. Right, ladies and gentlemen, any other questions, let me know, drop them down below. But otherwise, I'm gonna be calling it a day because it's about 1:45. And Tom has a business, actually 2 to run and a lot of work to get done. So drop your final comments down below. Obviously, I do this every week. I'm here to support you guys. I'm here next week. And then the week after, I'm not, because I'm flying. I'm going to be in Miami Sellers Conference. I have a talk to give. So I'll be here next week, but the week after I will not, because I'm in Miami. So the 11th, yes. 18th, no. Let me know. Obviously, get your questions in, but I'll be back after that as well. And then also, I'm looking to be back in the UK, maybe for like a couple of weeks, top end. In May. Luckily enough, my passport has actually run out of space, so I do need a new passport. So at least 10 days to get a new passport. So that's a very first world problem to have, but nice. Tom, since you stopped selling in the UK, does that mean OA in the UK there is time? No, not at all. Like, if I use the same idea, let's say for example you were buying from the Hut Group and Superdrug. Hi Tom, since you stopped buying on the Hut Group, does that mean that doing OA on the Hut Group is a waste of space? No, it just means that I found more profitable products in Superdrug. I hope you can understand the analogy there. So also as well, focus is really important. So we do a lot of like, I'm always trying to do less, but of the less I'm doing, I'm trying to do better, if that makes sense. That's what I'm really, really after. So yeah, like I hope that helps you out there. So is it a waste of time? No. Do I think it's a real challenge over that registration? Yeah, I think it's a lot harder. I definitely don't deny that. And you can see it because of the tax structure. I will create a blog one day or something about it. But between now and then, we'll see how it goes. But it is harder. But the US obviously has higher margins. It's an opportunity. But if you're under the VAT threshold, my God, it's super easy. Like it's easy mode. So I hope that makes sense. Best business bank account for UK seller, sole trader. Oh, I don't know the answer. You're just looking for business bank account. Like, I like the big one. By the way, I'd have two. I'd always have one of the big ones, like the well-known ones, and then I talked about it, I have Santander. By the way, I don't really think they're that great. The money moves super fast. But if you ever want to do anything credit lines, they ask you to come in. I'm like, have you not heard of COVID? Like, I do not want to come in. And then number two is the fact that creating like all the other stuff is a nightmare, like virtual credit cards, getting invoice or getting receipts or payments. As I said, like your Ys I really like. A lot of people talk about Starling, they really like that. Tide, someone talked about before. The challenger banks seem pretty good. I like them, I do use them. I use Revolut personally myself all the time, and I use Ys for business, and I have multiple Ys for business and personal. It works, but like everyone I will just say this now, I have multiple companies, each company has multiple bank accounts, and I have multiple admin staff. And I will tell you now, by the way, I have multiple accountants as well across different countries. I have UK accountants, 2 US accountants, a global tax advisor, and my God, my life is just administration so much of the time. It is not as fun as people make it out. It is just administration. It is a nightmare a lot of the time. It's like, oh my God, I think every other day I have a document to read, sign, or action. It's like, oh. So just be mindful, like try and keep it lean, keep it simple. That's going to be really helpful for you. So best business bank account for UK, I create two. One to store all your money in, and then the other one to do your transactions through. And then do all your purchases on credit cards, if that fell. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it a day. So I will see you same time next week. Give me a big thumbs up, like it. If there's anything you want me to talk about, put the comments in, but I will obviously talk to you next week. Stay safe, people. Bye.